Post 1 week alone, the ODM party has made over 4 press statements. It started by the press statements that were made by Ruth Odinga, went to press statements that were made by Honorable Ruth Odinga, then the press statements that were made by Wanga, now press statements that have been made by Oketch Salah. So that's in a period of less than 7 days. ODM party has now reduced itself to a party that communicates through press statements. That is not our main story. Our main story is the fact that yesterday Oketch Salah resurfaced, and this time he was holding a group of youths at the KICC. Main mission of holding this particular group of youths is to empower them. Now the party have distanced themselves from the organizations of Oketch Salah because of the issues that were in it, and we will detail those issues shortly. One of the issues around it was the fact that in the shirts that they were actually wearing, the shirts or the t-shirts that were being given away to the youths to wear had a picture of Ruto, Oketch Salah and Raila Odinga, and so people are wondering, what is Ruto's image doing in ODM colors and in Raila Odinga's colors, yet Ruto is a party leader of the UDA party and not the ODM party? Now stories around this have come out clear, with other individuals saying that part of the funding that goes into this particular Linda ground activities come from President William Ruto directly. Now the chairperson of the ODM party, Honorable Wanga, has distanced the party from those particular claims, saying that whatever Oketch Salah is doing is out of his own volition. This is coming shortly after Winnie Odinga said publicly in national television that nobody really seems to know this Oketch Salah guy, and the Oketch Salah guy responded saying that in an interview he intended to make everything clear. Now that interview has since not come, but yesterday he held this particular meeting with the youths at the KICC that other youths said went successfully, but other youths have come out to say did not go successful because whatever they were promised they did not receive. Towards the end of that particular gathering, you could see images in different social media platforms, including the TikTok space, of youths burning the t-shirts and the capes that were in ODM colors but had the image of President William Ruto in them, shouting one term. Now in this particular part of the episode, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to trace not only what Wanga said through the press statement as the chairperson of the ODM party on the activities of yesterday, but also what Oketch Salah himself responded to Wanga about. And then after that, we'll go back to the other 2 press statements that have been made over the week, just to detail to you, maybe if you missed it because of a busy schedule of work within the week, the press statements that have been spewing from the ODM party, as you let us know in the comment section. What is the way forward for this party, and who is this Oketch Salah guy? Perhaps Winnie might not know him, and you know him. You can let us know in the comment section. But above all, who is funding this particular separate ODM rallies, where now we have the Linda ground one going on, and now the group of Orengo, Babu Owino and Sifuna are also beginning a fresh one called Linda. What is it? What is this one called? Yes, they have started where now Honorable Babu Owino, Honorable Orengo and Honorable Sifuna have also started their own different Linda mission that will also be going on across the country. So let us know in the comment section who you think is funding these particular campaigns and who is Oketch Salah. Now first, let us start by the statements that were made by the party chairperson, that is Honorable Wanga, yesterday. And this is what Wanga wrote in this ODM Tuko Tayari Orange Democratic Movement press statement that we are displaying on our screen. The Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, wishes to clarify that any activities, statements or engagements undertaken by Mr. Oketch Salah are carried out strictly in his personal capacity and do not represent or bind the Orange Democratic Movement in any way. All official ODM activities, programs and engagements statements are channeled through the party secretariat and are undertaken with the approval and guidance of the party leadership headed by Dr. Oburu Odinga. Grassroots leaders, members and supporters are therefore advised that no activity should be organized or conducted in the name of ODM without prior consultation and approval from the party leadership and the secretariat. The party remains committed to order, discipline and structure engagement in the pursuit of its objectives. That is H. Gladys Wanga, EGH, National Chairperson. Now, I have a problem with Wanga's letter because Wanga has also been accused lately of speaking from two sides of her mouth even within the same day. And while she's accusing Oketch, we are not advocating for Oketch in any way or whatever he's doing with the ODM party, but we have a fault with Wanga because while she's talking about all official activities, programs and engagements are to be channeled through the party secretariat and undertaken within the approval and guidance of the party leadership, there have been talks that this particular Linda ground thing have not gone through the party leadership. You've seen Osotsi come out clear and say first, even the term Linda ground is not an ODM term. They don't know who coined it. And now they are seeing the likes of Kina Wanga moving around the country with it. Of course, Sifuna is not part of this deal. He has said in public television saying he even questions the funding of this particular Linda ground stuff. So whereas Wanga is championing for the Linda ground that has been taking place across different parts of the country, he is faulting Oketch Salah for not running the same through the secretariat. Now you would ask yourself, what ODM secretariat right now that the ODM is actually divided? You do not know who holds the rails, and that's why Wanga even in her letter has to say that the party leadership is headed by Dr. Oburu Odinga to give effect to that because of how that particular position has been contested. Now Wanga aside, Oketch did not spare time. Oketch responded about 12 hours ago, and this is the response that has come from Oketch Salah. You can see on top there it's written OS, signed by Oketch Salah himself, and this is verifiable because we have obtained it from the page of Oketch Salah himself from the X page. So we are sharing it with you on the screen, and this is what Oketch Salah is saying. So for Oketch Salah, is taking an interesting path. Says that I want to speak from my heart and very clearly. Everything I have been doing has the heading of the statement is statement from Oketch Salah to Wanga, so it's not to the ODM party. It says I want to speak from my heart and very clearly. Everything I have been doing has only one purpose, to popularize and strengthen ODM. I believe deeply in this party, in its history and in what it stands for. If in that process I have hurt you, Chair Lady Wanga, I sincerely apologize. That was never my intention. But I also honestly believe that ODM needs to be re-energized and refreshed. A living movement must keep moving, keep inspiring and keep reaching the people, especially at the grassroots. Let me also be clear. The resources I've been using are my own personal resources. I have not asked ODM for money and I have not used party funds. This has been my personal contribution to a party I love and respect. Most importantly, my commitment to ODM is not for show. I promised Baba that I would stand with ODM. I made that promise when we were in India. That promise has stayed with me. Now I stand with ODM because of love, loyalty and obligation to Baba's legacy. This party is part of his life's work, and by extension, it is part of my own duty to continue supporting it, protecting and strengthening it. I remain ODM. I believe in ODM. And I will continue to stand with ODM out of love for the party and out of respect for Baba. Now that is the response that your latest billionaire in town, who no one actually really knows who he is, has written to the chairperson of the ODM party. Now I also have a problem with Oketch Salah's writing to Wanga, signed down there Oketch Salah. With each paragraph, I want to speak from my heart and very clearly. That is good for clarity. Everything I've been doing has one purpose: popularize ODM. That's okay. Now he promised this to Raila in India, but the last part, the first statement of the last paragraph, I remain ODM. So he is not remaining in ODM, he is remaining to be the Orange Democratic Party post Raila Amolo Odinga, because he believes in ODM and he will continue to stand with ODM out of love for the party. Okay, that's that. Now he talks about using his own resources, and I do not know what Oketch Salah does and where he gets his resources from, and that is not our subject here today. But why then does it have an image of President William Ruto in your resources, if then the major image in those particular t-shirts, as you can see from the pictures we are circulating on the screen, the major image is President William Ruto on the face, and then Raila fading on the corner and Oketch Salah on the corner. So who are you really popularizing? Is it the orange color? Is it the Raila Amolo Odinga card on the image on the far end, or yours or Ruto? Because none of that particular t-shirt talks about ODM. It displays personalities and images. And so this is also the problem most Kenyans are having with this guy. They're saying whereas his intention might be good for the party, as people are still trying to understand who he really is, people are trying to question then where is this funds coming from. And yesterday, when those particular images depicted President William Ruto in them, now people connected the dots and said this could be the partial funding that, of course, Honorable Sifuna has been talking about, that do not go through the party structures because the party does not have that money. Yet the party celebrates these parties daily. So this funding that is separate, Oketch has defended, and he said that is his own personal funding, and that is he's doing it because of his love for Baba. So yesterday, after this particular conference was over and youths were going away, in this particular video of things that were featuring from the TikTok space, you can see people are burning the clothes down and they are chanting one term. There are even other images of people dropping the UDA tags and the capes and chanting one term. My take would be, whereas politicians are putting a lot of resources to sway the voter to vote a particular way in 2027, or even sell a narrative that can live rent-free in the voter's mind between now and 2027, the very politicians should also be aware of the fact that the Kenyan voter is so woke, and where money is involved, you will see them in numbers, but that might not be the translation in the ballot in 2027. But then who are we? Between now and 2027 is more than 12 months, 16 months away. Maybe just the investing in resources, if kept pumping for quite a period of time, might sway the target voters that they want to their camp. Away from that, more stories are coming from the ODM party. As I said in the beginning of this episode, that it has been a party of press conferences lately, but they are not making these press conferences publicly. They are sending press statements. Is Ruth Odinga. Now, Ruth Odinga is the last born of the Ruth Odinga is the last born of the Ogingas, and she is currently serving in a position representing the people of Kisumu in parliament in the women rep position. Now, she has aspirations of running for governor of Siaya, and in this entire dilemma of where the ODM party stands, Ruth has been seen to be supporting the family. But to what end? Because in one bit you see that Oburu Odinga's leadership is being questioned by the Raila Odinga's family, and now the Raila Odinga's family are also fronting an alternative, speaking the same language with Sifuna. So this puts Ruth at a very difficult position, because about a week and a half ago, Ruth was receiving President William Ruto in the rolling out of the Nyota program in Kisumu, and she was actually very okay with the broad-based arrangement. Now, 2 days ago, she busted the Kenyan political scene with this particular statement after, of course, Sifuna was Sifuna made the statement in the national television. I wanted to say when after Sifuna was featured in the explainer of the Citizen TV, of course. So after Sifuna made those particular explosive statements on Citizen TV, this is what Ruth said. Now let us read Ruth's statements. Sifuna, as a signatory to the ODM account, if he questions where all the money for choppers, big tents, and ODM branded t-shirts and capes in the Linda ground conventions are coming from, why should anyone abuse him? So he admitted on national TV that ODM party has not spent any coin on the campaigns, which ran into millions of shillings. Those were the answers. Why can't you provide them? Are governors funding the campaigns? Are MPs doing it from the CDF kitty? Did we get a philanthropist that a party SG is not aware of? Who is funding the clearly expensive public fora? And what is in it for the philanthropist? Now, I think Ruto now puts all the two statements that we have made of Salah and, of course, this other guy called Wanga, Gladys Wanga, to context. Anauliza very valid questions, because anauliza if the Secretary General ajui malidu inatoka, na the Secretary General mwenyewe anasema the ODM party has not used any money. So where's the money coming from? Are the governors funding it? And you know, these are very sensitive information. If the governors are funding the rally, okay, give us the accounts of the governors funding the rally and let the governors tell us why, where are they getting the money to fund these particular campaigns if allocations to their counties are still something they are complaining about. And in different counties, there is no county in Kenya that you can say have scored an absolute 70% and above on devolution in Kenya. The only country that is coming close to it with around 63% is the Murang'a County. So these governors are actually very poor governors in their counties delivery, or in the delivery of services to their counties. Where are they getting the money from? If it's not the governors, tell us, are the MPs financing this? Are they getting it from the CDF fund? The CDF case was just decided the other day. Actually, I think the likes of Utinda Molo just did their petition or did their submissions the other day. So even the CDF thing has been on abeyance for quite some time. So if they are getting it from the CDF fund, are they using CDF resources illegally at the time that there was a bow in CDF? Those are things that we need to understand. And of course, she's also asking that other than the governors and the MPs, did we get a philanthropist? And if yes, we go to Oketch Salah, for example, that is them as the ODM party. Or if yes, we go to President Uhuru Kenyatta, or if yes, we go to President William Ruto, as the ODM party as them. What is in it for the philanthropist? Now, these are the questions that you might have missed in the week that came from that last born of the family of Raila Amolo Odinga, who is also now being seen to be joining sides with the young part of the ODM party, including Senator Sifuna, including Honorable Babu Wino, and even Winnie Odinga from the family, where now she questioned where the money is coming from, yet the Secretary General is not aware. Of course, first of this particular press statements, and the one we are concluding this episode with, was made by the chairperson, that is not the chairperson, the party leader himself, that is Honorable Oburu Odinga. And this was made in the wake of Honorable Sifuna's, of course, as I have said, explosive statements on a national television. This is what Oburu wrote, or rather was written for, and came under the hand of Oburu after Sifuna made that particular statement. So for this one, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the one we're concluding with, I want to read it verbatim so that we take a look at what is the party leader saying to the party secretary general in the midst of this dilemma and in the midst of these fights between the secretary general and the party leader. So ODM tuko tayari, Orange Democratic Movement. The document starts here. Statement by the party leader of the Orange Democratic Movement on a recent comments by the Secretary General. So fellow members of the Orange Democratic Movement, supporters and the public, I have taken note of the Tuesday 3rd February 2026 interview by our Secretary General, Senator Edwin Sifuna on Citizen TV, and the public discourse that has followed. So first, as the party leader of ODM and discharged with the responsibility to oversight and steer the leadership of the party and its mandate in the national interest and sustainability of our beloved party, in this capacity I would like to state that ODM is a democratic movement that accommodates debate and internal discourse. That said, it is important to address certain concerns. In recent months, the Secretary General has occasionally struggled to distinguish between his personal opinions and official party policy as determined by our constitutionally mandated organs. Now, this has understandably created confusion among the members and supporters. ODM policy is not shaped by individual preference. It is the product of structured deliberation through properly constituted party organs. Wanna get what this guy is saying? So in this recent interview, the Secretary General rightly restated the ideological foundations of ODM: social democracy, equity, justice, devolution, constitutionalism, and pursuit of inclusive governance. These principles have always provided the compass for our political engagements, including coalition building. They will continue to guide our strategy as we navigate the evolving political landscape and consider future alliances. This has been Baba's philosophy and the guiding principle that I will continue to uphold. However, the interview has also contained assertions that misled the public regarding the legitimacy of certain party organs and office holders. ODM has since the inception demonstrated fidelity to the Constitution and to the rule of law. The same principle has put every individual in the rightful position, including that of Senator Sifuna. We want to state categorically that all party officials are serving substantially and supported by the party organ resolutions. Hapo anajidefend na position yake akisema hata Sifuna mwenyewe hiyo position ana hold is as a result of the constitution. Of course this narrows down on the conversation when alikuwa anasema that why are you calling for NDC na wewe ukeka kwa hiyo position there was no NDC. It's a very long letter. So towards the end anasema when Sifuna questioned the legality of some national officials on the basis that they were elected by National Governing Council, he overlooked a fundamental fact. He himself was elected Secretary General by the same organ in February 2018 and discharged functions of that office fully and effectively until February 2022 when the National Delegates Convention subsequently endorsed him. One cannot selectively invalidate the very process that conferred legitimacy upon oneself. So hii ndo ngori wamekuwa nayo na Sifuna. The thing Sifuna pia aliyekuwa tu hivyo before an NDC was held. So Oburu is asking it's the same blame game. Si wewe uliekwa hivyo, siacha hata mimi pia niwekwe hivyo until people verify. Okay, that's a question of party internal organs. Still into the very long letter. It was also difficult not to note that the contradiction in the Secretary General's position regarding pre-coalition negotiations in July 2025 on the same public platform. He expressed the view that ODM could not afford to wait until 2027 to deliberate on its post-election strategy. Today, he questions the urgency of initiating discussions with potential pre-election partners. As a responsible political party preparing to form the next government, we must plan ahead. Strategic engagement is not panic, it's prudence, and democratic space does not equal chaos. Let it also be known that frequent reference to other coalitions and not ODM is a concern and needs to be keenly mitigated on. In the interest of continuing with Baba's policy and desire for better Kenya, we will continue to fight for the right of every individual in this country. This we cannot achieve when we can't talk to the government and other stakeholders. We are therefore committed to the intergenerational national conclave to create a stronger party where every generation is represented and given opportunity. Let me reiterate. ODM remains united, strong, and anchored in its founding values. Debate is welcome, but it must be responsible and aligned with party discipline. No individual, however senior, is above the collective decisions of the party. We shall continue to engage our members, consult our organs, and pursue negotiations guided by our ideology and the interest of the Kenyan people. Our objective remains clear: to build a just, inclusive, and democratic Kenya. I call upon all the members to remain focused, disciplined, and committed to our shared vision. Oburu Odinga, MP, party leader. Now, I must admit that in the age of technology, reading 2 pages like that is a lot of work for most people. I won't say including myself, but I think I'm heading there if I don't keep a reading culture. But yeah, it's very, very difficult for a lot of people. And so a lot of people interacted with this document over the week. I know, including yourself, you might have interacted with this document over the week by Oburu Odinga, but taking time to read the 2 pages was very difficult. Now here at our studios, we have done that simple task for you. We have read the entire press statements that have been issued by the ODM party to show you that it's a party that is struggling to keep its party structures in place. It's promising its members a coalition, but it's also feeling that certain members are deviated to that end. And while that is happening, philanthropists and young billionaires within the party are also using the party names and colors as they wish. Now the party is trying to maintain control in the national spectrum, while also trying to discipline juniors not to use the party structures without going through the party secretariat. Huku kwetu letu ni jicho tu. We are trying to put our eyes fixed in this particular story between now and 2027 to bring to you what is enveloping from that particular political camp. Now go back to our other channel and interact with more political stories that we have detailed there. But if this is also your first time interacting with our channel, please hit the subscribe button. That way these political stories do not escape you. And also for us here at the studios, we ensure that the growth of the channel is steady. Until our next episode.